okay.
Realistically, 1,000 square foot space, you're going to be able to have 8 or 10 people in there at a time max. I mean, any more than that is going to get really uncomfortable. So, I mean, you know, and that's assuming you don't have any giant stinking pieces of equipment in there.
Right. I know this is really silly, but how big is 1,000 square feet? Like, I can't visualize
I mean, we've got a room here. What's the square feet?
7 or 8, I would say, all the way from the back wall to the front, roughly. Is that a good estimate?
It's a little more than that, but yeah.
No, this is closer to 2,000.
Yeah, it's close to 2,000 probably.
Yeah, this looks to me. This is probably just 2,000 in the main building.
Okay. Oh, well, like how much?
540. It's like 1,500 in here. It looks like maybe for just this room, and then there's the space in the back. So probably a total of 2,000.
So why not just like rent a house? Wouldn't that be cheaper? Or?
I've actually read some documentation about hacker spaces in good places, and having a house is possibly a good idea because, you know, say being able to cook food there if you're on like a long, you know, all-night hack, you know, or being able to have like different like a garage space that would be good for like whatever things that you don't want to have near the other more sensitive equipment.
It's probably not an insurmountable problem, but you're going to have to worry about zoning and about how you're going to incorporate interacts with how you hold the space. You'll also have to worry about fire codes and be real careful in a space like that. You don't want to
have to make sure it's like next to commercial.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about people and density, though, is that what you're really talking about is how much workspace do the people who are going to be there need.
Right. Right. It's occupancy. It's not, you know, total membership. Sure.
I'm looking at like the lab space that you have out of Tech Shop.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's probably, I don't know what it is. 600 square feet of lab space.
That's 600.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is going to be as much about finding the right kind of space as it is about finding the right size. I mean, both are going to matter. Yeah, I mean, a house isn't at all out of the question, but you know, when you start adding constraints, it isn't like any house you walk up to that's released is going to be, you know, it's going to work. You need to find the right one.
I think that one of the things that the house does for you is it gives you a light industrial space in the garage area, things that are understood, and then from there. But I also, getting back to the size constraints, looking at 9,000 or 900 square feet, that's about the size of this, where we do the DNCA stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I get 30 people in there all the time.
Well, you can get 30 people in a classroom situation.
Well,
you know, if they were all working on projects, you would.
Depending on how you partition that, you could easily have 15 to 20 people working there all the time, or you could have 10 people.
Probably, yeah.
Well,
I mean, the other question is, so what are people's feelings about mixing? I mean, is everybody here pretty much straight mechanical, straight hardware? Are there software people here who want to hack stuff?
I like microcontrollers.
Yeah.
Few of us, you know.
Well, obviously it all overlaps, but I guess.
I mean, like some of us, I think maybe we could have a show of hands of like how many people do like smaller stuff and how many people do bigger stuff. Like basically, so.
Do you think you're going to take more than like this?
Yeah, exactly. Because like this amount of space, let me say for example, is great if you have like, you know, your soldering iron, your microcontroller, and your laptop. And that I think is a pretty ideal setup for maybe a lot of us, I don't know. And then some other people, you know. So how many people need like this much space and how many people need like that much space?
Does anybody need that much space?
Well, I mean, I think it depends a lot on what kind of equipment you think you're going to get in there. There's been mention of laser cutters, that kind of thing, right? I mean, are there people who would use a laser cutter if we had a laser cutter? A couple or three.
Well, I mean, you know, there's a few things about laser cutters. The first of which, and I'm going to point to some irresponsible people, you know, tattooing themselves away. There's no way in hell you're not going to see a lawsuit the first time you're in any kind of group space where somebody goes through and burns their skin with a laser cutter.
Yeah.
I mean, just the liability issues with industrial equipment are just insane.
Sure.
One. And two, there are at least 5 groups on the periphery that have access to laser cutters. Glenn and I were just talking about CNC machines. Do we need a CNC machine? No. What we need is we need an IGES file, and do your paths, prototype it with a rep wrap, and then go find somebody who's spent the $700 to qualify on the CNC machine. Say, this is what I got, this is my plastic model, build it, tell me when you're done, and we'll buy a couple of beers. I mean, the whole point of pooling equipment is that there's no reason for everyone to have their own, it's like, there's 5 of us and we all have a complete fucking machine shop.
Yeah.
It's like, duh, no. It's like, this is Hacker Space, so there's 5 of us and we're all like working on this project, and one of us has access to tech shop.
Right.
Or one of us is a student at this place, or one of us is that. It's like, there's no reason. Especially if you're trying to start something, you're starting to look for industrial space. It's like, otherwise you might as well start shopping for a business model that will support something like this. It's like, no, it's like you want to kill the group, that's what you do. But if you wanted to go through and look at something that's attainable, like 900 square feet, then you could probably pool enough people in central areas and get space that you could get 20 people in on a regular basis. When you need to grow, come to Backspace, come to wherever.
I think that solves the big problem issue.
And then,
the big project issue too, because if we ever have projects so large they don't fit in our space, we move elsewhere.
And if we're trying to get Jerry Ellsworth's space, then we can go through and see how much, in addition, like 900 square feet on top of whatever Jerry needs, and Jerry can figure out the rest of it. There's no reason for you guys to try and figure out how to buy a warehouse so that you can work with Jerry. I mean, come on.
We really need to find who's involved, who wants to actually be involved in order to estimate a decent sized space to start with.
For myself personally, the area and whether I can get to it.
I think logistics definitely. There's only like so far that I'm willing to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. We need a spot that's easy to get to.
I'd say the single most important thing that this meeting should accomplish is that we're all on the same page, chipping in to find a space, and everybody needs to start actively looking just as much as everybody else. And the sooner we find a suitable space, the sooner we can get started, because I think everything else will just follow from that. But I would say the make or break decision is, are we going to find a space that's close in, that's big enough? And then, that would satisfy, I think, everybody's requirement at least.
So do we need a mailing list to do this? Do we need a forum? Is IRC good enough?
The wiki sounds like the best idea, because then
Yeah.
everyone can edit and add to a list of locations that's suitable to them.
I don't think it
And
makes
then
any
group
sense
them.
to create a logistical nightmare for it's either going.
Yeah, the problem with having multiple forms of communication is people get lost. My idea is to set up a wiki and then set up a mailing list in the IRC channel, which we already have going. And anytime that there's information that's actually going to stick, we're going to put it in the wiki and refer to the wiki every time, just so people don't get lost and get misinformed. That'd probably be the best way to handle things right now. A mailing list is great because it just pops up in your mailbox. Hey, go check out the wiki. We've, found this out. What do you guys think of the forum as far as a location type thing, like a location feed to sort of get information to the organizers and whatnot?
You guys already registered the domain. What is going on with getting that active?
I'm actually going to try and get the wiki and mailing list set up either tonight or this weekend. And then I've been spending some long days at work, so the site's been a little slow right now. You want to do that?
If we just do one of those super easy installs.
Yeah, I've got a little design that I'm going to throw up too.
Just curious what platform?
Linux.
I don't know, what wiki?
Oh, wiki. I was thinking about track, but I think maybe media wiki.
Well, I don't think that track is good.
Open for all different suggestions.
I think everyone's pretty familiar with MediaWiki. That's
Definitely.
always seems
Yeah,
like a
because
good
the
thing.
wiki was really created sort of after the track.
It's a good idea.
We just need a collaborative one page
Well, there's
that's shared.
yeah,
Right.
I mean,
So I
there's
mean,
like-
like, I think it's more like a bigger